You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
And just a little bit ago, this impeachment report came out with the three House committees. It's Comer, it's Jason Smith, and it's also Jim Jordan.
Right.
And joining us now is Doug Burns, former federal prosecutor, to talk about this. Doug, here it is. It's the eve. Biden's about to speak tonight. We were just talking about it. Here he is, going to do his, I guess, sort of wistful final speech. Swan song. And I guess he's getting an ugly duckling, because he gets this report. Talk about what this report means, because this is really damning. It's, $27 million.
It is. The timing is dramatic in terms of the convention. But speaking of timing, now that this candidate's not running for a re-election, the drama is, largely deflated. I got my eyeballs on the report. I'm not that fast a reader to read 300 pages in an hour, but, it lays
You didn't
out...
go to, what is it, Evelyn Wood?
Evelyn Wood, you read my mind. I was just going to say that. That's so funny. But anyway, it's interesting because the table of contents actually, it sounds silly, lays it out, in great detail. And the point is, lots and lots of money, $27 million flowed to the Biden family. When you look at, so-called liberal media right away, I read a couple of articles, and there's all the verbiage you'd expect. Familiar allegations, rehashing, no new bombshells. And the point is, I've been saying for years that when, as, and if the mainstream media would cover this fairly, then Biden would have serious problems.
Yeah, and Peter King, I'm curious, what do you make of the timing of this? That now it's coming out, he's obviously he's a lame duck now.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's a very valid report. Listen, I voted against Clinton's impeachment. I voted against Trump's impeachment. This one goes right to the heart of being a president. This does involve an abuse of office, and by having it out, to me, it's appropriate. Put it out the night he's going to speak. Put it out the opening night of the convention.
Well, because they're trying to deify this guy and say he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They want to. Pelosi says they want to put him on Mount Rushmore.
Right.
Really?
Right.
What did he accomplish at all?
You mean he didn't do as much as Abraham Lincoln and Washington and all these others, FDR?
I'm fascinated by it. The guy is the most unsuccessful president in my lifetime. He's a failure. He's probably the worst president since Buchanan, right before the Civil War.
Wow, that's some historical reference. James Buchanan, the only bachelor president, right?
Very good, very good, very good. Yeah, now what can they do, though? Now, explain from a legal perspective, Doug,
Sure.
and I'm curious, you guys, too, because they put out the report. What happens from here? It's a report, but what happens?
Well, it's impeachment, not, a criminal case in court. So the point is they would have to put it to a floor vote to return articles of impeachment. I don't think that's going to happen, even though I defer to your, esteemed colleagues no more than me. But I don't think it's going to happen because, A, you have, I think it's 12 Republicans who are against it. And with the razor-thin margin, you're not going to get the vote. And then, B, again, broken record, with him leaving office, the wind is out of the sails largely politically.
Yeah, I agree. It's only going to come to a floor vote if Mike Johnson knows he has 218 solid votes for it. He probably won't have them in an election year. And even if it did pass the House, it's going nowhere in the Senate. There's no way you're ever going to get 2/3 vote. So it's symbolic, but it's out there, and it gives Republicans something to talk about. And I think it's important to educate the American people in the election.
Yeah, but you sit there. If you're Trump, you go, wait a minute. They went after me 2 times.
Over nonsense.
Over nonsense. And now you look at $27 million and you go, wait a minute, this guy gets it on the door out? Come on.
I'm not talking about legality. I'm talking about the practicality. The votes are not there.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. I'm just saying, to me, if I'm Trump, I go, what, are you kidding me? Now you do it?
More important than Trump, respectfully, the American people should be absolutely outraged that you had instead of a commander-in-chief, you had a grifter-in-chief. That's what you had.
Exactly.
You had a grifter-in-chief.
Yeah. No, it's been fascinating because the point is, we've deteriorated. You don't need me to explain, just deteriorated to a series of angry one-liners in our political discourse. So I could hypothetically tell a liberal friend tonight, assume they're very sophisticated, et cetera, about this. And they say, oh, that's nothing more than a right-wing talking point. That's a bunch of misinformation. And that's what we've deteriorated to, which to me is very troubling.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you sit there and you look at the money too. Now, what does this mean also for Hunter? Does it mean anything? He's got his tax trial coming up, Doug, very soon.
No, that's a very good point. I mean, because, what saves you also hurts you. So what saves Biden on some levels is, there's no proof here that he was involved with his son's business dealings. And don't forget, he's got a PhD in plausible deniability, okay? But at the same...
He's got a PhD in, I wasn't there, but there's the picture of me there. Go ahead.
Yeah, there I am at Cafe Milano, yada, yada, but I really never met anybody. And it's amazing what he gets away with. But, the fact of the matter is, as Peter explained perfectly, it's just not going to go anywhere. As far as Hunter Biden, the trial on the West Coast is interesting because the big legal issue, what we lawyers call in limine motions, the judge could explain that. But the point is, what can come into evidence about these larger family dealings, and they're duking that out. It's going to be very interesting. Two things. A, will Hunter Biden take some kind of plea? And B, will his papa pardon him with one foot out the door?
Right. You know that. That's for sure the case.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think so. Really. He said he wouldn't, but that was prior to all of this stuff.
He also said that his son never made money off of the Chinese.
Right. That's true. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, he did. And he also said the laptop, by the way, he said was not real.
That's not real.
Right.
It had all the earmarks.
Election, guys.
All the earmarks of Russian disinformation.
That is a real scandal. 50, whatever it was.
51 Intel, 51. Right.
Yeah, you went along with that phony story. That really is disgrace. That's an abuse of office.
It is. And by the way, we're going to talk more about this because Miranda Devine's coming up. Doug Burns, thank you. We love having you here. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
My pleasure, guys.
Thank you so much. Great analysis, Doug.